This woman takes the same taxi home every night. Sometimes, she changes her route to go to her boyfriend's house. But before she mentions the address, the driver already knows the way. The driver said he drives her so often that he's familiar with the route. Sarah initially thought it was just a coincidence, but the driver's next words completely unsettled her. The driver kept chatting with Sarah on the way. He even asked her why she always worked so late. Sarah didn't want to respond, but he kept talking to himself. He said Sarah was too beautiful to be going home alone at night. He added that a girl near her neighborhood had recently been in an accident. After that, Sarah deliberately started leaving work early. To her shock, the driver was already waiting there. Sarah didn't want to approach him. The driver kept honking, urging her to get in. He said there were no other taxis available on such a rainy day, so Sarah reluctantly got into his taxi again. But the driver was just as talkative as before. He even criticized her for hanging up on her parents the night before. He said she should listen to her parents and get married soon. This driver knew more about Sarah's life than even her parents did. This made Sarah very scared. When they were nearing a convenience store, where she could take shelter from the rain, she asked the driver to stop, but the driver refused, saying the rain was too heavy and he had to take her home. Finally, they arrived downstairs at Sarah's apartment. She urgently tried to open the door and pay the fare, but the driver got out of the car instead. Sarah turned to find the car doors were locked. This made her panic, but after a minute, the door was unlocked. The driver held an umbrella, insisting on walking her home. Sarah refused, handed him the fare, then quickly opened the building's door. The driver tried to follow her inside. A terrified Sarah struggled desperately. The driver didn't care even when his hand was caught in the door. He screamed in pain but got up and kept pounding on the door. Thankfully, the door was locked in the end. Sarah felt the driver was a creepy stalker, so the next day, she immediately moved out. On her way to work, Sarah called her boyfriend. She chose a new taxi and got in, but to her horror, the driver was the same one as before.